Welcome to our podcast on Angola, a country located in southern Africa. With an area of over 1.2 million square kilometers, Angola is the seventh largest country in Africa. It has a population of around 32 million people, making it the second most populous country in southern Africa after South Africa. The official language of Angola is Portuguese, but many people also speak Bantu languages such as Umbundu, Kimbundu, and Kikongo. In this podcast, we'll be exploring the rich history, culture, and society of Angola, as well as some of the challenges it faces today. So let's get started. Angola has a long and complex history that has been shaped by its location along the Atlantic coast of Africa. The region was first settled by Bantu-speaking peoples around 500 AD, and over time, various kingdoms and empires rose and fell. In the 15th century, Angola came under the control of the Kingdom of Portugal, which established trading posts and began exporting slaves from the region. During the 19th and 20th centuries, Angola became an important source of natural resources for Portugal, including diamonds, oil, and coffee. However, this exploitation led to widespread poverty and suffering among the Angolan people. In the 1950s and 60s, a liberation movement called the MPLA, Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola, began to fight for independence from Portugal. In 1975, Angola finally gained independence, but the country was immediately plunged into civil war. The MPLA, backed by the Soviet Union and Cuba, fought against two other independence movements, the UNITA, National Union for the Total Independence of Angola, and the FNLA, National Front for the Liberation of Angola. The civil war lasted for 27 years and resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people. In 2002, a peace agreement was signed, and the country has been at peace since then. However, Angola has faced many challenges, including corruption, poverty, and a lack of infrastructure. In recent years, there have been some political developments, including the election of a new president in 2017 and the opening of the country to foreign investment. Despite these developments, Angola still has a long way to go in terms of developing its economy and improving the lives of its people. Angola has a rich and diverse culture that reflects its history and the various ethnic groups that make up its population. One of the most distinctive aspects of Angolan culture is its music, which is a blend of traditional African rhythms and instruments with influences from Europe and the Americas. The most famous style of Angolan music is probably Kuduro, a fast-paced dance music that originated in Luanda, the capital city. Other popular genres include samba, a slower and more melodic style, and kizomba, a romantic dance music that originated in the 1980s. Angola is also home to a vibrant art scene, with a variety of styles ranging from traditional to contemporary. Angolan artists often draw inspiration from their country's history and culture, as well as from more global trends. Traditional Angolan art includes wood carving, basketry, and textiles, while contemporary artists are known for their paintings, sculptures, and installations. Angola's traditional dress is another important aspect of its culture. Different ethnic groups have their own distinctive styles of dress, which often feature bright colors, patterns, and intricate beadwork. These traditional styles are often worn on special occasions or to celebrate cultural events. In everyday life, many Angolans wear a blend of traditional and modern clothing, with both Western and African influences. Angola has a diverse and growing economy that is supported by its natural resources, including oil, diamonds, and agricultural products. Oil is by far the country's most important export, accounting for over 95% of total exports. Angola is one of the top oil producers in Africa, and its oil sector has attracted significant foreign investment in recent years. Diamonds are another important export for Angola, and the country is home to some of the highest quality diamonds in the world. Agriculture is also a significant part of Angola's economy, with crops such as coffee, maize, and cassava being grown in the country's fertile interior. In addition to these main industries, Angola has a growing service sector, including tourism, banking, and telecommunications. Despite these economic strengths, Angola still faces many challenges, including a lack of infrastructure, corruption, and a high poverty rate. The government has implemented a number of reforms in recent years to address these issues and boost the economy, but much work remains to be done. Angola is a predominantly rural country, with around 3/4 of the population living in the countryside. The traditional family structure in Angola is based on extended families, with grandparents, parents, and children all living together under one roof. Family ties are very strong in Angola, and the extended family is an important source of support and assistance. The education system in Angola has made significant progress in recent years, but there are still many challenges. Primary education is free and compulsory, but many children do not have access to quality education due to a lack of schools and trained teachers. The government has implemented a number of initiatives to improve the education system, including building new schools and training more teachers. The healthcare system in Angola is also facing challenges, with many people living in remote areas without access to medical facilities. The country has a high infant mortality rate and a high prevalence of diseases such as malaria and HIV/AIDS. The government has made efforts to improve the healthcare system, including building new hospitals and clinics and providing training for healthcare workers. Despite these efforts, much work remains to be done to ensure that all Angolans have access to quality healthcare. Angola faces a number of significant challenges that have held back its development and hindered the well-being of its people. One of the most pressing issues is poverty, with a significant portion of the population living in poverty, especially in rural areas. The country has a high unemployment rate, and many people struggle to access basic necessities such as clean water, food, and healthcare. Corruption is another major challenge in Angola. The country ranks poorly on international corruption indices, and corruption is seen as a major barrier to economic development and social justice. The government has taken steps to address corruption, but much work remains to be done to root out this deeply entrenched problem. Finally, Angola has a history of conflict, with a long civil war that ended in 2002 and ongoing fighting in some parts of the country. The government has worked to bring peace to the country, but there are still tensions and outbreaks of violence in some areas. These conflicts have had a negative impact on the economy, as well as on the safety and well-being of the people. Thank you for listening to our podcast on Angola. We hope you've learned something about this fascinating country and its rich history, culture, and society. Angola is a country with many challenges, but it is also a country with a lot of potential and a vibrant and resilient population. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider liking it and subscribing to our channel. We have many other videos about Angola and other countries around the world, so be sure to check them out. And if you want to learn more about Angola, there are many resources available online and in libraries. Thank you again for listening, and we hope you'll join us for more podcasts in the future.